So, today is an interesting day, mainly for social media and Instagram specifically. Today's the day in Australia where it has been taken away for others to view how many likes are actually on a picture. So when this is probably released, it's going to be outdated, but what is interesting about it is the fact that it's still going to be aligned with, I guess, the aesthetic that they're trying to produce. It's very interesting, I think, to note what the reasoning behind this could be. And I'm sure there is obviously a very strong understanding, and everyone does have these, I guess, opinions on what they think it could be, but it's very interesting to really note what the actual reasons behind it really are. So first we'll think about what are the benefits of this? What is great about this that you can really understand and get the most from? So often, I mean, this is one of those things where, you know, a lot of skepticism and a lot of different opinions have come out about this very recently. It's already been implemented in Canada. I assume they're going to be implementing it all over the world. Knowing these kinds of platforms, they're going to take it away until people want it back, so then people constantly are, you know, going back onto it. Who really knows? They might be taking it away for, you know, forever. But I think what they're going to be doing is testing the results and then kind of aligning that with whether it was beneficial for them in regards to, you think about this just quickly, it's a business and what they're really doing is diversifying. Alright, I'm going to leave that just to ponder on it, but it's really interesting to note how they've done it and why they've done it. So, benefits. As a photographer, there are often times where others will then jump on trends. They will see that it's inherently within our mind that when someone else likes something and we see that there's already a trend based around it, we'll then jump on it. Whether we consider that to be something that, you know, we acknowledge or not, there is often that subliminal understanding that we do that. And, you know, it's not something that we like to kind of recognize, but honestly, we jump on those kinds of things, and it's really funny because we don't mean to do it. It's just there. It's honestly how we have been curated to doing things. We like to, you know, this comes back to feeling like we are part of something bigger than ourselves and wanting to not conform but be within a community and be as one another, so that we have these related kind of concepts. Relatability is one of the things within us as humans that we are constantly striving to have. Connection, comfort within others, feeling like we belong, and knowing that we are liking things that other people like. It's really funny when there's kind of this subliminal psychology behind it that we don't know. It's kind of like there's linear psychology, and then I think there's sublinear psychology. There's that kind of line of things that we acknowledge and understand, and then there's this bottom layer of things that actually are curated from that specific top line. And it's really, really, I think personally, it's really interesting just to actually note, seeing how it kind of comes about, because this isn't just within, you know, obviously social media, Instagram, that kind of stuff. It aligns with so many different things, and when we actually, you know, have that self-awareness and actually acknowledge it, it's really funny how we can actually kind of have this extra control over ourselves and how we react to things, and the fact that, you know, it comes from within us, and that we are basing our opinions based on what we believe, not allowing someone else to curate them. It's really, really interesting, I think. So anyway, benefits. It's great for people. People are so caught up in thinking that they need this acceptance from others, and that they're going to be either accepted or not accepted based on how people perceive them, generated around how many likes they get on an image. And I think that is really, really detaching, I think, people from what they're actually presenting and posting, and people get so caught up in it that they're not actually presenting themselves as a depiction of themselves. They're putting up something that they can then get that instant gratification from, because they're going to get likes, and then they're also going to get the thought of other people seeing them getting all those likes and then thinking, oh, this guy's, you know, this guy's accepted, this guy's cool, this guy's whatever it is, guy or girl. Obviously it's completely, you know, not specified within one gender. That's the most interesting part. It's completely across the board, and I think that I'm almost falling off a cliff, so I'm gonna quickly reposition myself. I didn't realize how close I actually was. Also, I think I might quickly fix up my focus. Hoping that did something. It's just, yeah, it's really interesting to actually note those kinds of things, the characteristics that we actually accumulate from these situations and scenarios. I personally believe that it's going to be extremely advantageous, and it's going to become more of a platform where those who actually enjoy what they're doing and present it in a way that actually aligns with who they are, they're going to then get, you know, that gratification coming from within themselves, because they're happy and proud of what they're actually putting out. They're not looking for someone else's kind of, you know, acceptance. They're doing it for themselves, and that's, I think, where Facebook, obviously owning Instagram, are really trying to create this community that's actually based around people being who they are and just being a complete raw depiction of whatever they want to post. I mean, it's not based, like, your status isn't based on, obviously this is completely something that I'm, you know, not obviously formulating. Like, it's been around for countless years and I've believed in it for a long time, but the likes aren't going to give you anything. Like, it's really funny because there was actually someone that, so I'm in this group of photographers, local photographers, and I think it's kind of like an engagement pod group, and people just post when they, you know, upload an image or something like that, and then people go in and do whatever they have to do. I'm just really in it for, you know, seeing who actually does that and seeing the kind of results that they get, because it's really intriguing for me to actually understand that. And, you know, I think I did it once. I posted an image in there once and I was like, I don't like this. I just don't think it's for me. I didn't see any, you know, differing results. I wanted it to be truly organic. Like, I don't want to be asking someone else for something. I don't believe that that's the way to be going about it. And, you know, obviously there is the algorithm which then gets hindered by all those kinds of results, but I think if you actually gain that organic interest, it's going to be so much more, I guess, substantial and sustainable within the long term. So anyway, bit off topic as per usual. There was one guy in there and everyone was saying, oh, you know, this is going to be so great for photographers, this is going to be so great for artists, we're really going to, you know, get so much more out of it, we're not going to feel like we have to be, you know, pressured to post things for other people, we're not going to get, you know, degraded by others' views of what we're posting, and, you know, it's just going to allow for this kind of, you know, balance to be assumed, which is really, I think, really great. There's, you know, there's countless benefits of this, and one of the biggest things is that people can actually do things that they want to do. They're not going to feel that extra pressure because of how they're going to be perceived, because it's not there anymore. People can't make that instantaneous judgment as quickly. Like, it's very, very interesting. And then there was one guy who came through and he said, oh no, it's going to be terrible for, you know, businesses, people who are trying to get business on Instagram and, you know, have worked so hard to get their business profile up and running. Like, I have nothing against this. I completely understand where he's coming from, but being so negative about it isn't going to change the situation. Like, you may as well just accept it. There's reasoning behind it, and I think that's always something that, you know, you can either be pessimistic or optimistic, and if you're going to be pessimistic, allow it to just be there and shift away, just flow off, because it's not worth worrying yourself about. Seek solutions to your own problems. Don't just allow them to absorb you and think, oh no, this is so bad, I can't do anything about it, this is horrible, what a bad situation to be in. Just, you know, problem solve. What are you going to do? How are you going to solve your problems? What are you going to do? Like, this guy was just, yeah, rambling on about how terrible it's going to be, and you're going to see so many less creators kind of, you know, getting business propositions and proposals because people can't see whether, you know, there's engagement on their posts. Actually, I really want to get it up just quickly because it was really interesting and it was a very valid point. I'm not saying that it wasn't a valid point because I completely understand it, but it's just really, really interesting because there's reasoning as to why it's happening this way. So what do they have to say? I hate it, to be honest. The brands involved in my fashion shoots now won't see the engagement from my posts. The models might not get work. Models might not get brands contacting them to work with because they can't see their engagement. And sure, they'll still see your follower count, but that can be filled with bots. And even if it isn't, Instagram doesn't show half your followers your posts. I think it should be an opt-in thing. And then he said, for just social media, the average person who doesn't work with brands and have their business advertised through Instagram, you're right. But anyone who does use Instagram as an actual business platform is getting screwed over. And then, obviously, back and forwards, he said, of course you want quality content over trending content, but brands aren't going to pay people for quality content if they have no proof that anyone is going to see it. You're going to see lots less of people being paid for the creative work on Instagram when brands can't tell if people are seeing or engaging with it or not. I completely understand that. As I said, it is valid, but there is reason behind this on Facebook's behalf. Think about Facebook. Where has Facebook gone? What are you going to do if you're not getting likes on your thing? What is a platform that is still owned by that same umbrella that, you know, presents people's likes and what attention they're getting for their posts? For a business to consumer business, Facebook is now going to be the epitome of where that goes. It is not going to be Instagram anymore. They're trying to drive attention back to Facebook. And for business to business, they're trying to drive that back to LinkedIn. There is reasoning. There is not just, you know, they're not just doing it to be nice as well. Like, sure, it's going to be great for regular people who are just posting things and worrying so much about that pressure and how they're going to be perceived. I think that is great and really advantageous, but there is also, as I've said, this subliminal reasoning. It's not just because they want to be kind. Like, they're trialing it so they can then align it. They're seeing whether the statistics of people using Instagram this much is going to fluctuate down, and then the amount of people using Facebook is going to go up at that same time. And they're seeing whether they can align it and actually if it's producing the results that they think. I think that it's one of those things where it's really intriguing to see what actually happens. In the future, obviously it's not going to be that distant in the future, but when people actually acknowledge that, what are they going to do about it? Are they going to then go onto Facebook and then trying to promote themselves on that? Is it going to bring back attention to Facebook? Are people then going to be flooded with even more advertisements on Facebook? What are they going to do? What's going to happen? I think that is extremely interesting, to be entirely honest, because social media in general is not something that you need to be focusing on. It's not something that you need to, you know, think is the be all and end all. It's not the end of your business. It's not the start of your business. It's simply a tool. Like, what I was saying here is, you know, businesses are going to relate to quality content. They're going to relate to persistence, resilience, and being able to go out of your comfort zone to actually do what you can to provide them the best quality results. They don't really, you know, there's this whole assumption around it that businesses care so much about that engagement. Sure they do, because that's what they've been taught to do. That's what they think is getting them, you know, their business, but it's not. Realistically, quality is what's getting people business. You want a sustainable business. Instagram's not going to get you sustainability. Social media is not going to get you sustainability. Quality results are going to get you sustainability. Being who you are and presenting a character that people can connect with, whether this is a business or, you know, presenting yourself. It's the values aligned that go underlying everything that you do, which people relate to and resonate with. That's when people really join onto you as a business and what you're presenting. It's not about just, you know, putting everything out, hoping that one of these things that you put out becomes a trend. Oh, what's that going to do? You can't just, you know, go fishing for trends every day. You're not going to be sustainable. It's ridiculously, you know, a huge misconception, I think. And yeah, I understand there's definitely two sides to the coin. This is completely subjective, but it's just really funny because there are so many benefits that so many people can take away from it, and they can actually provide the opportunity to be exactly who they are and present that. I think that, you know, for me personally, it's great. Like, I've been posting consistently for, it's probably only been like a year to 2 years where I've actually consistently posted, because before that I didn't want to get caught up in it, and I'm not focusing on it, but I am posting consistently, and the work that I put up, I'm not overly consumed by it, but I am putting it out there so that others can hopefully gain something from it. And you know what I'm trying to produce within my work, simply Instagram I'm using as a tool to get my message across. And you know, there is kind of that contextual barrier which is difficult to actually present, but I really want people to just understand within my work, understand the beauty that is available around them. And you know, Instagram's just that tool that I use at my disposal, that I can really just provide that to others, put it on a platter. People can, you know, either take from it or they don't. It's like, you know, it's a buffet, realistically, and it is whatever you want to make it. Like, that's the bottom line, and you can take something positive away from it, you can take something negative away from it, but what's it going to do for you within yourself? Like, is it really going to be something that's actually going to, you know, produce fulfillment and satisfaction within you? Like, or is it just that instantaneous gratification that you're actually losing and you're feeling, damn, how am I still going to get that? Because if that's the case, I think that's great to take yourself away from, because it's not building you as a person, it's building you to try and formulate something that's going to get you something else from someone else. It's not really allowing you to be true to who you are and, you know, formulate the best outcome for yourself. It's important just to really keep your own well-being and psychology in mind so that you can provide yourself with the best opportunity to be who you are and be accepting of yourself, because, you know, the acceptance comes from within you. No one else's acceptance is going to be sustainable. It's not going to be something that's always going to be there. It comes from within you, and you've got to embed that within yourself. When you can actually do that, it presents, you know, an abundance of opportunity. The world is your oyster when you know that you are capable of doing whatever you want to do if you work at it. And simply that can be something just so minute as accepting yourself, being happy with who you are, not feeling like you need to be someone else, not feeling like you need to present something that other people are gonna, you know, love. You love yourself. That's the biggest thing that you can ever do. It's incredibly powerful. Yeah. Anyway, interesting to see what happens from here. I think it's really going to be very, very advantageous for a lot of people, because they're not going to be worrying so much. They're not going to have that extra anxiety. They're not going to, you know, feel that pressure. They're not going to feel like they need to be getting this instantaneous gratification for the basis of, you know, other people perceiving them to be something that, you know, is this high figure or, you know, this figure on a pedestal. It's not going to have this degradation between, you know, people seeing one thing and then seeing another and thinking, you know, this is more valuable than this. It's completely giving the opportunity to base your own opinion on how you feel. It's really great. Like, it really is great in those regards, because, yeah, I reckon it's awesome. You finally get to formulate your own opinion based on what you think around social media, at least in regards to Instagram. Like, sure, people are still going to see that follower count and they're going to think, oh, you know, this is liked or not liked, or their content is appreciated and not appreciated, and also that liked, that's a pretty bad term to use in these regards. But yeah, it's really interesting, really, really interesting. I'm really, yeah, intrigued to see what does happen and what actually evolves with it. But yeah, it's really interesting to note just what, I guess, you can really gain from it and how advantageous it really can be, because you can give yourself the opportunity to really, you know, shift yourself and perceive everything a lot more positively than you may have previously. So take that on board, keep it in mind, and see if you can present yourself on a pathway which is going to provide you with the greatest level of happiness that you can have within yourself, to provide that fulfillment, satisfaction within your own life and what you are doing. that'll probably do me, but I appreciate your time, and I will catch you on the flip side. I don't know what that was. No. Cut. That'll do.